Hey everyone, welcome to my channel. Thank you to you guys that have continued to support me and that have been here rocking with me. I know I haven't been as consistent as I need to be on this channel, but there have been so many things that are going on. But I know y'all don't care about that because I'm the same way. When I have my YouTubers that I watch, I want to know what's going on. I want my readings. I need my readings. I depend on those readings. So no excuses. But this video is all about, some of the things that have been going on in my journey as of up until this point. Pretty much things that have been happening in 2020. I've been saying I was coming on to do an Attracting a Life Beyond Your Dreams video series for some time now, and I haven't gotten it. So tonight I'm going to sit with you guys, have my wine, and really dive deep into some things that have been taking place in my own life on my own spiritual journey. And leave room in the comment section, if you guys want to ask some questions, if you guys want to book some services, or whatever the case. Like, all of the information is going to be down below in the description box. We're going to go ahead and jump in. I want to go ahead and first start off the same way I always do, by protecting this reading and all my subscribers. Want to ask the universe that anyone that clicks on this video receives protection in the form of a force-filled place around them with bright white lights, 3 golden rings, and violet flames. May it shine so bright that nothing negative may ever attach. So this is Attracting a Life Beyond Your Dreams. In this episode, we are going to discuss the importance of listening and honoring your body, your mind, and spirit while on your spiritual journey. I'm going to use personal examples to dive into this. Normally I take a little bit of notes, but tonight I am not, guys. I'm just freestyling. We're going to see what comes out. And yeah, here we go. So to start off, I want to let you guys know I have made a very huge transition in my life. For those of you that know me personally, you know that in June, I left my husband. I've been with him since I was 15 years old, so it wasn't an easy decision to do that. There were a lot of things that went into it. I had lost my aunt and my brother, or someone that I looked at to as a brother, or, I grew up around them. And it was the first time in my life that I lost anyone significantly close to me. I lost my brother on April 30th, and then my aunt passed away May 3rd, and that was my favorite aunt, and the aunt that I grew up with. I saw her pretty much every day of my childhood. That is in my other video. The last Attracting a Life Beyond Your Dreams that I actually did was a couple weeks after they had passed. My car had gotten wrecked and totaled, and I had a lot of life transitions take place. Fast forward, or I should say rewind. Prior to leaving my husband, I didn't think about, the toll that it was taking on my body, and the fact that my mind and my spirit had been aligning me to make this move for some time now. And a lot of times when the universe gives us directions to do something and we do not do it, we get placed into a situation where we're forced to do it, which is when you see that the Tower card when you're reading tarot, that is what that card is representing. It is representing when the universe gives you guidance to do something, you don't do it, so you're forced into a tower moment and some shit shakes up in your life, and then now you're stuck here, forced to evaluate things, forced to evaluate where you're moving, where you're going, how you want to move, things that you want to navigate, and shit like that. And so I was forced to sit down with myself, and losing those people that were significant to me, it forced me to look at a lot of different things in my life and really dive deep into some things that I've been avoiding facing. The fact that Josh and I have been together since I was 15 years old, like I said, and we've gone through a lot of different things in that time. We'd gone through miscarriage, deployments, abandonment, cheating, a lot of different things. We've gone through regular relationship things, and I was very aware of the fact that even if we come back together, no one knows what life holds. But in this moment, we needed to separate. We needed to grow and go live separate lives and see what things were in store for us apart from one another, because the life that we had built, all we have known was one another. All we had built on was one another. So our identities were formed around one another. And then when he deployed and I went on my spiritual journey and really got in touch, the years continued to go on and we were growing apart because I'm healing and I'm doing this work and I'm doing that. And I oftentimes would see him, or he would directly tell me that he was jealous of some of the moves that I was making, or that he didn't understand why I was doing that, or all I care about is this and that. My spiritual journey and everything of that sort. And hearing the person that you are most connected with, or you were supposed to be most connected with, saying things like, you know, they're jealous of your journey, or all you're focused on is this, or they're making little statements, that will make you feel a way. It'll make you feel like you're not in alignment with your purpose, or like you're not in alignment with him or them. And so, things like that would take place for years, you know, they would always happen. And I love him to death. I still love him in this very moment. I know he loves me too. The crazy thing is, he's one of my best friends. We literally grew up together. We've gone through so many things together, and we still talk, and well, not as often, but we still talk and everything like that. And it's, I don't know. Sorry guys, there was something floating in my wine. But that aside, so my point of bringing that up, because for one, that's one of the main reasons you guys haven't seen me as often as I would like, because I literally got my own spot. I moved into my own townhome, and I was working 2 teaching jobs to support my changes and transitions because I want to buy a home. So I was going nuts, literally always doing business stuff. I was pretty much working well, in all honesty, 3 jobs and my business. So I have clients, and I'm making boxes and doing pop-up stores and things of that sort. And it was taking away a lot of my time. And those 2 teaching jobs were wearing on my body. And so I kept praying to the universe, because at this point I'm bringing in like 10 grand a month. I'm going to be honest, guys. Like, I'm bringing it in, and I'm moving, and I'm trying to keep my mind busy, really, in all honesty, because I have my husband over there that, you know, that situation's bothering me. And then my aunt passed away, and then Roy passed away, and then, you know, I lost one of my closest childhood friends. I didn't lose him to death, but when you physically lose somebody, and again, that wasn't something that the universe just snatched, you know, it wasn't something that blindsided me. It was something that I'd been receiving guidance that I was supposed to let go. Someone that I've been receiving guidance for years that it was becoming toxic. You know, it has been toxic. It was a trauma bond that I formed from childhood, and he was one of my best friends. And so it was actually his brother that we lost on May 30th. So I stopped talking to him, and I was losing a lot of significant relationships, but I wasn't losing them. It was just the universe forcing me to do something that I'd already been receiving guidance on for, honestly, if I'm realistic with myself and with you guys, for some years. I've been receiving guidance to disconnect from specific relationships for some years. And I know that a lot of you guys will relate to that. There might be behaviors or thought processes or whatever the case may be that you've been guided to let go of, but you continue to hold on to them because you're human. And even though you're on the spiritual journey, it is a lot harder to disconnect from those. Like, it's easier to disconnect from friends because over the years, I've lost a lot of friends. I've had to disconnect. I've moved states. I've moved cities. I've literally not lived in the same place since 2016. Every year I've moved to a new city. And then now, or a new state. I've literally moved to a new city since 2016. So losing people became a thing of like, whatever, like friendships. But when it comes down to the nitty gritty, that direct circle, those people that are really in your heart, that you consider close to family or that you consider sacred to you, that is hard to disconnect from. Or those behaviors, you know, the things that have literally been there for you. So it's like people that smoke hella weed, like, if you've smoked since you were 10 or some shit, and then you're all of a sudden trying to stop, but now you just had a child or some shit like that, like if you've had significant things going on and then it all hits you at once, that is difficult for you to let go. And although you may know it's not healthy overall and it's time for you to let certain things go, you don't want to. You literally don't want to walk away. You're like, well, I've been smoking for this long, blah, blah, blah. So that was me. And the universe forced me into a tower moment. And so I found myself pretty much homeless with no car. And I lost all the people that would support me in this moment emotionally. So no emotional support. So I have my family, you know what I'm saying? But I'm a person that everyone calls for things. So I have friends and I have family that I can call. But when you are oftentimes that backbone within your connections and within your relationships, and you know the things that they're calling you for advice on, when you go through significant things, I am the type of person, I don't like to call people, because in my eyes, I'm like, the universe is going to support me. I am the backbone. So they already are going through all this shit and I know it consciously. So I'm not going to call and place my burdens on them. I can handle this. I'm strong. I'm a warrior. I'm meant for this. I'm built for it. So I found myself, at this point, I'm still with my husband's car, but we're borrowing my grandma's car. It's just like a shit show. And I moved in with someone that I met on Facebook for 3 weeks. I couldn't believe it. I've never done anything like that in my life. But in that moment, desperate times call for desperate measures. So moved in with someone that I'd known for 3 weeks. Boom. Or I hadn't known that person for 3 weeks. I lived there for 3 weeks. And then I got my own spot and started hustling, hit the ground running come August 1st. So yeah, it was July when I left. So August 1st, I moved in. I started both of my jobs. I'm working. I'm hustling. I'm doing my pop-up stores. I'm getting clients. I'm doing whatever I can to keep my mind very busy. But again, the universe will send warnings throughout your body when your spirit is trying to tell you something. So consciously, I know that what I'm doing is unhealthy. I know that, for one, I'm overindulging in work. And although it seems productive and I'm making all of these changes and all of these steps to progress my life, I'm actually regressing because I just had a shit ton of emotional ass events hit me all at one time. Yet I'm over here spinning in circles and trying to find everything that I can to suppress actually facing how my heart feels. I lost my best friend. You know what I'm saying? Someone I've been around since I was 12 years old. The person that I've always had when any shit hits the fan, this is the person that I call. So now I don't have that person. I've lost these people due to death. I lost my husband. Even though we're talking, it's still fucking lost. It's just like, what is happening? And now I'm living with a stranger. I don't have anything familiar. Even the car that I've had when I moved to fucking Kansas is totaled now. And so I don't even have my baby, my car. And I'm starting new. I'm starting over and I'm hustling. And my body, it's just going. It's going. But now I'm starting to notice that little things, like things that normally I've learned to brush off. You know, back in the day when I was on fight or flight constantly, I would snap just like that. Anger issues. That's what people often say when they go through a lot of traumatic events. They have anger issues. It's called anger issues because you don't know how to emotionally respond to things. So little shit will cause you to snap because you have a lot of big shit that happened that you have not learned how to process. So my body went back into that state of that fight or flight, and now I'm hustling. I don't even care about nothing. I'm bringing in money. I'm working 2 jobs. I'm working 3 jobs. I'm working part-time as an herbalist. I'm working 2 full-time teaching jobs as a special ed teacher, guys. So that's hella paperwork on top of paperwork on top of paperwork on top of paperwork. Oh my goodness, I cannot stress that for anyone that is in the education field or the medical field, because my sister is a nurse and she does the same thing, like a lot of the same paperwork and shit like that. That aside, the point is, I'm busy. Plus, I'm still trying to push out content, but I'm not giving you guys the content that, you know, and I'm not giving you as fast as you need it. And obviously I get that, you know. You become dependent upon this. And I had people emailing me and asking me, are you good? When are you going to be on YouTube? I miss you. I'm thinking of you. And I love you guys for that. I really, really, really do. Like, I cannot express that enough, because sometimes Even just knowing that you have people that depend on you or that you need to get better for will help you get better. So rewind to where how your body is going to give you signs. My body starts giving me signs that I'm not processing shit. Little things were happening around me and I would have the biggest reaction. I mean, like something so small and I'm crying, or I'll hear a song and I'm crying for things like that, and I'll just suck it up in my mind and tell myself that that's really the reason that I'm crying, knowing damn well that no, you're crying because this and this. Like you just had all these significant events and lost a lot of significant relationships in your life in a matter of a month. This is in a matter of a month and a half. They're just like, boop, boop, boop. The universe set me down and slapped me in my mouth and just forced me to do things that I already knew I needed to be doing. But now I'm here. And now I'm sitting here. And now I'm hustling. And I'm doing this and I'm doing that to stay busy. And I'm reading books and I'm trying to learn and just hop back in it and get life going. And my body just shuts the fuck down. So the month of November, yes, you guys saw me a little bit, but from October to November, I went into hiatus and I ended up leaving one of my jobs because I was praying to the universe, you know, if it's in alignment for me to work both of these jobs and make everything work out. And the whole time I was looking for something to go wrong with my second job, but it ended up being my first job that actually I had to leave. It was crazy too, because again, my body was telling me, like even before I left my husband, I get shoulder pain. That's how my ancestors communicate with me. If I'm not honoring what I need to be doing, or if I'm overly controlling something, this shoulder will continuously hurt. And it'll be like, oh my goodness. So now I know if I'm trying to control something, I get that pain up in here. But if I am being crippled or contained by something that no longer serves me, I will have the sharpest shoulder pain for as long as I'm not honoring what I need to be doing. And I had that shoulder pain for weeks before I left my husband. And I had that shoulder pain for weeks before I quit that job, because I know my body, I've started to get in tune with it to the point where I can tell, oh, this is what's going on. This is why I'm feeling this way, this and that, because our spirits will communicate with us through our bodies, through our minds. Like it's even paying attention to those thoughts, knowing yourself to know, what am I this mad about? It's like I said, those overly emotional reactions. So like I said, I'm out and I hear a song and I'm breaking down at the store. I'm crying in the middle of an aisle. I'm crying. I heard Fergie, Big Girls Don't Cry. True story. I had to go visit my sister in San Diego after this. I booked a ticket that night. I'm walking and I'm listening to, I hear Big Girls Don't Cry, and I already cry from the song, but that specific day, like I'm in Walmart and I can't even help myself. I hear the lyrics and I'm just like, and not a regular cry, guys, like the ugly cry. I'm like, oh, sorry. I'm literally bawling like somebody's baby. Like, oh my goodness. I'm like, ah! It was a mess. It was a mess. So my body was communicating with me that it was time to leave one of these jobs, but my mind is like, fuck no, I need this money. I'm making all this money all this whole month. I'm balling, I'm rich, and I'm buying a house, and I'm ready to save. I'm ready to save. I'm ready to ball. I'm ready to live. And I'm making jokes about it. But in real life, like, I was just like, money, it's flowing in. Like, what is happening? At least I've just moved out. I got this new spot. I'm saving all this money. I got to get myself a car, which, guys, I manifested. So that'll be a side note, the power of manifestation, even in the time of havoc in your life. I manifested exactly what I wanted, in a vehicle, and down to the price range and my payments every month, and it's mine and no co-signer, and everything about it is beautiful, and I love it, and I'm so grateful. Her name is Fierce. She's outside. She's beautiful. Obviously, she's outside. She's beautiful, and I'm very grateful for that. But that'll be a sidebar. That's going to be my next Attracting Life Beyond Your Dreams. Manifesting, even when you're in havoc, even when everything around you feels like a fucking tornado, you can still create and gain the things that you need in life. So the universe tells my body, it's telling me repeatedly, excessively, Raven, this job is not in alignment with you. I am sitting here and I'm trying so hard to make this job work because I'm already committed to my kids. And I've been working there since last school year. And even though it's a pandemic, these are my babies. I don't want to leave these kids. I've become accustomed to them. Miss Raven is there. Like, they know me. They love me. They honor me. I honor them. I know their families. I formed so many relationships there. So I'm forcing myself to stay. And every day I'm waking up and my body, it's either crying. If I'm not crying, then even on the good days, I'll wake up because I have a ritual. I get up in the morning and I do Reiki upon my body. And then I get out of bed and I stretch and I do my yoga. And then I listen to some music, either Rags to Riches. That's my theme song. Rod Wave, Rags to Riches 2. I hop out of the bed. I put my Bluetooth speaker on and I'm Rags to Riches, getting it. And I'm in a good zone. I'm dancing and I'm feeling good. As soon as I go to log into that building, some shit, like, it's like the energy of the universe will just shoulder pain and my head's hurting and I'm crying and I'm sad. Like, my body was physically telling me, peace out of there. Peace out of there. It's no longer in alignment. So the weeks leading up to that, again, I was forced into a tower moment. My principal started messing with me. She was like micromanaging and making me, or every Zoom I'm logging in, she's right there, or she asked me to fill out a sheet telling her what I'm doing every hour on the hour. I'm like, no, woman, you got me fucked up. I'm an adult. I'll be treated as such. But I give thanks to her because she's a type A person and I love her. Overall, that's the thing about it. Like, I love her very, very dearly. I do. I speak nothing bad about her. She's a type A person and we are in a fucking pandemic. Education is changing. She literally has no control over anything within her building. So she's trying to find things to control, but I am a free spirit and I cannot be controlled or contained like that. So especially when you know you don't need the job and the universe is pushing you out of the door. So I put in a 2-week notice and sadly I left my babies. I'm still crushed about it. I haven't even found, oh my goodness. So anyways, I miss my babies. That's the moral of that story. But the universe, again, was speaking to me through my body, through my mind. And if I didn't follow the signs, I didn't, once again, follow the signs. So I was forced into a tower moment of being triggered to the point of no return. And I was essentially pushed out the door. I was like holding on with all of my might. With every morsel of my body, I was holding on to that job. For one, because of the money, and for two, because I was comfortable with it. But the universe, again, has something waiting for me better on the other side. It was like the way that everything was set up for me was perfect. I used the second job that I gained to negotiate. I used my first job to negotiate my money for my second job, and I used my second job to negotiate a higher pay for my first job. So I had equal amounts of money flowing in from both jobs. I have the same benefits. The way I set everything up, it was beautiful. So I didn't really lose anything except for stress. And I'm grateful and I'm blessed and I'm humbled to sit here and say that. And I also gained more time. So as a result, I have more time to put into my channel. I have more time to put into my business. I have more time to put into my animals. Because if you guys have been watching the videos, you know I just got a black kitten. Her name is Starseed. That's my little baby. And I got my 2 Chihuahuas, Hazel and Tiny. So I have to put my time into them. I've also formulated new relationships. A couple. But you know, the person that I ended up moving with off of Facebook ended up being a very dear friend to my heart and a person that helps me out with a lot of different things. And I'm very grateful for that and very happy for certain relationships. And you never really know what the universe is going to be bringing into your life. So overall, the moral of everything that I've gone through over these past couple of months has been, when your body tells you something, when your heart feels something, when you know deep down, especially when you are on a spiritual journey. Everybody knows that when you know better, you do better. But when you are a spiritual being and you become conscious of how the spiritual realm works and you start dibbing and dabbling in that, and then you get specific messages about things that you need to be doing, that you need to be aligning with, and your body starts reacting and telling you that, and your mind is telling you that, and your soul and your spirit is telling you that, you need to act on it. Because when you do not act on it, your life, a tower moment will be created for you. And I use the words will be created for you very strategically. I place those there because that's exactly what happens. It was created for you. In this present moment, I am sitting in bliss. And I mean that. I don't even know. I'm about to cry because I've never felt this. I have a sense of freedom and a sense of peace that I have never in my entire life known. I have a nice ass place and I did it all on my own. I literally hustled and got here on my own with the universe, obviously, but no physical being. Well, okay, I can't say that. There's a lot of physical beings that helped me get to this very moment. But in this time, I put in the work to accomplish these things that I have around me. And even in the midst of chaos, and even in the midst of turmoil and anger and anxiety and depression and grief and losing all these people, I didn't lose anyone. I didn't lose anything, because as I begin 2021 and as I end 2020, I know that this decade I've put in enough work and I have manifested a decade for 2020 that's going to look completely different than anything I've ever known in my life. And I also am aware of the fact that now I'm going to be learning through positive experiences and positive growth and positive changes. And I'm going to have a cycle filled with good problems, because when you begin to learn to pay attention to the signs that your body gives you from within and on the outside, you cannot create anything except for greatness. When you know better, you do better. And I've seen what happens when you know better, but you do not do better. I sat somewhere for years. I sat multiple places for years because of familiarity. Nothing other than the fact that it was familiar to me. I wasn't happy. I wasn't honoring myself. I wasn't honoring the divine wisdom. I wasn't honoring anything but what I thought other people were going to say and what was comfortable to me. And sitting and doing so did nothing but ultimately make me uncomfortable every day, because I was not living in my soul's truth and in my soul's purpose. So if you're watching this video right now, I for one know that you are probably in a crossroads and in a transitional period within your life. And my only advice and guidance to you is to follow your heart, follow your mind, and follow your body. Do not force the universe to force your hand. Do not force the universe to put a tower moment into your life and have you have to lose people and grieve in that way. It would be better for you to be on the front end of it and just do it, so that you don't have to have anything done for you. You don't have to have that emotional turmoil that you're going to go through, because it's going to hurt to lose them either way. You know what I'm saying? It's going to hurt to make those changes either way. But if you are on the front end of them, then you get to grieve and go through the process on your own hand, as opposed to having it feel like your entire foundation is snatched from underneath you, because that is how I felt. I lost everything that was known to me. I didn't lose it. So I need to change the narrative and the words in which I say it. I gained myself. And in order to do that, certain things had to be replaced with different things. Certain things had to be removed and had to be replaced. The universe had to come in and do some spring cleaning. And in doing so, yes, I physically feel like I had to grieve things that I avoided. And I had to learn. My grandma always says a hard head makes a soft ass, and my ass is very soft. It's very big, it's very thick now, and that joint is soft. I'm talking about it's Pillsbury Doughboy soft, because I had to learn the hard way. I am not doing that in this cycle. I want to be on the front end of it. I want to honor what the universe is telling me, and I want to teach other people to do so. So if in any way I've offended anyone throughout this video or given you guidance or support or wisdom, please comment down below. Please email me. I am only sharing my story and journey with you guys because the stories will help somebody along the way. Somebody might be at a crossroads and they need this video to make the decision to honor who they are. Do not be on the wrong end of a tower moment, looking sad and feeling upset and angry because you didn't make the decision that you knew you needed to ultimately. So I love you guys, and you know what? I want to pull an oracle just because I haven't been on to do any readings. My schedule is about to get consistent now that I'm down to one job or two really. But hey, it's better than working 3 jobs in my business. Wow. Release. What a good way to end this reading. That was the whole point. Wow. Number 13. And it said release sadness and isolation. That was the bottom card. Sadness and isolation. And I like that card's there. I wasn't going to read it, but I am, because release sadness and isolation. This card is pretty much just saying, like, when you release, you're going to release this. Right now, this is probably where you are sitting, in sadness and isolation. So you're keeping a lot of shit around you, but you still feel lonely and you still feel isolated and sad. Why are you holding on to it? What do you lose by letting this go? You gain everything. You lose literally nothing. Nothing is lost when you decide to let what no longer serves you go. You only call in what you deserve. And you only are able to utilize and move in a way where you gain things that you deserve and that you are honoring. There's nothing for you to fear. So we have release. Discard, shed, end, transformation, freedom, and empowerment. An opportunity for renewal around affairs of the heart is available at this time, and it's quite possible that this renewal will happen through release. It's in letting go that you discover what remains, what is yours truly. Sometimes in relationships, you may feel the need to hold on tightly to those you love, whether or not this love is returned. This can lead to tension and unhappiness for all involved. Even in a good relationship, holding on too tightly doesn't allow the relationship to breathe, grow, and mature. Are you restricting someone or trying to attract someone through your will? Discard any need for control and see how the relationship transforms. Watch how releasing the overwhelming need for a relationship allows the perfect one to appear. Shed any beliefs and behaviors that do not serve your highest good. Throughout life, we receive many mixed and often incorrect messages about how a relationship should work. Let go of any preconceived notions or expectations about your relationships or your lack of them. By doing so, your current relationships can flow and flourish in a way that is best for everyone. By being yourself, you also attract to you the relationships that will serve you best. This is also a card of possible endings. Are there relationships that you cling to that you would rather, or you would be better off leaving? And letting go of a stagnant or difficult situation, you empower yourself, opening the way for new and rewarding relationships. I let go of expectations and open myself to relationships that flow and grow. The Death card is what this card would be in traditional tarot. All right, I love you guys so much. Please let me know how this message resonates. Namaste and peace be upon all of you. Thank you so much.